reform. Member for Griffith.
Look, the science is absolutely clear on climate change, and I think members of the Labor Party know it. I think you probably do know that the International Energy Agency is right when they say that if we want to avoid catastrophic climate change, then we cannot open a single new coal and gas project. I think you genuinely know that, but you don't care. That does seem to be the conclusion that any reasonable person should reach. The consequences, of course, the heat waves, bushfires, floods, the deaths, the destruction of our ecosystem, our dying planet, you do not care. That is the only reason that I can come up with to justify why you can look at the science, understand what you're doing and do it anyway. And I'm sure I would argue criminal behaviour of this government to stand up and approve. You are approving coal and gas mines when you know the impact it's having on the earth, and you keep doing, and you know the deaths it's going to cause, and you know the destruction it's going to cause, and you do it anyway. And the question is, why does the Labor government?
Member for Griffith, I'm taking a point of order. Please.
Absolutely not. You can.
Perhaps it might be nice if the new member who doesn't read the standing orders stops referring through the chair and actually did his job properly instead of carrying on.
It is.
You can't use your remarks through the chair. You've got to put your remarks through the chair. When you say you're reflecting on.
Member for McEwen, I'll explain. The standing order is asking you to direct your remarks to me, to depersonalise the level of debate, which is escalating somewhat.
Because it's interesting to me that the members opposite, the government over there, care more about that sort of decorum than the death and destruction their policies are causing. The question is why the Labor government acting in a way that financially benefits oil and gas corporations. And we have the coalition over here saying, "I know where I live," which is, again, and let's sum this up. We've got both sides of parliament who act in the interests of fossil fuel corporations regardless of the consequences. It's not a surprise that the coalition appoint Grant King, previous executive of Origin, massive gas corporation, at the head of the Climate Change Authority, and the Labor Party government keep him there. Woodside's Links, of course, one of the large gas corporations that are benefiting from government policy. We have a strong history of that, and we'll speak about the coalition for a second. Lest we forget that it was the Howard government that used ACIS to spy on the Timor-Leste government when they were negotiating with the Labor government, ultimately to the benefit of Woodside, when then Alexander Downer, the then Forestry Minister, went on to work for Woodside after using the Australian security apparatus to spy on behalf, essentially, of Woodside and to financially benefit them. And then Alexander Downer went up to work for them. Of course, we also have the Labor Party. And I thought I would quote, by the way, just to give you an idea of why your party is so deeply corrupted and broken and utterly incapable of tackling climate change. And it's a quote from Lindy
for Griffith, please take your seat.
Show some respect in the House, you fool. That comment was deeply offensive, and you should withdraw.
But I don't want you calling names across the chamber either. So withdraw that, and then I'll deal with that. Member for Griffith, you are casting aspersions on members in this House. I would tread a little bit more carefully if I were you.
Deputy Speaker, I'll quote directly from Lindy Edwards, The Corporate Power in Australian Democracy book. Absolutely not.
Comments about criminal and death behaviour in terms of members on this side of the House, and he should be made to withdraw.
Been asked to withdraw.
Provide the evidence as to why I think those comments stand.
Minister, I'll give you the call.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. You'll note the member is disrespecting your orders and defying the House, so I'd ask that you bring him back to order.
Which is quite a serious matter. I'm asking you to give it a little bit of thought, Member for Griffith, and it would assist the House if you were withdraw.
Deputy Speaker, I won't withdraw.
Then you need to sit down. I give the call.